Hey everybody, it's Guels here, and let's have a look together at the next hero coming to the Nexus. Who might it be, you're asking? Is it the healing dummy? No. It's Deathwing coming around the corner from him behind the bushes. And yeah, he is very big in this time. Let's have the camera locked so he can move with us. Looks more dynamic. So here, this is Mr. Biggins Deathwing, and he's in dragon form all time. Mr. All-Time Dragon. There's no humanoid form actually, sadly, which I would have loved. You can see in the top right corner there's one nice artwork of a human form. But nevertheless, we have the big dragon in the game. He will come next week, I think. The PTR is already running. This is the PTR. And we will be having a look at his baseline kits, his talents, and also check some of his playstyle. So let's start with the baseline kit first. So his trait is called Aspect of Death, and it makes him completely unstoppable to everything. Unstoppable to stuns, wood, whatever, but he's also unstoppable to allied stuff. So no buffs, no healing at all for him from other sources except himself, like drinking from a fountain, picking up globes, and going to the core back. And the fourth possibility would be going to the air, which brings us... Oh, he also does 100% more damage. He brings us to the other abilities of him. But let's go step by step. Okay, he can... the fourth healing ability, we go back to that soon. He also has armor plates. You see his fancy... his fancy health bar. He has like a threshold every quarter, and he has 40 armor. And whenever he loses 1 quarter, he loses that armor plating of this area, and it won't come back unless he heals himself by going into the air. But it won't come back from drinking from a fountain or going to the Nexus, to the core. So, and the armor goes lower. So he's like a reversed Garrosh maybe. Garrosh gets more armor, he gets less armor. Let's check that. So he goes down, armor booms, and now he's at 30, and this will remain gone. Even if I go drinking, and he needs a lot of water, he's Mr. Biggins. So, boy, you can see it's not coming back. We are over that threshold again, but no, we are still at 30 armor. That is that. And he also does 100% more damage to heroes with spell damage. Yes, 100% additional spell damage to heroes. He does that as well. So this is his trait. He has 2 forms, Destroyer and Worldbreaker, which alters his skills a little bit. This not that much. Destroyer is his more like the melee form, and Worldbreaker is more the ranged form a little bit. And he can change it for every 20 seconds, and he also can change it when it's coming down from the air. Sadly, you can't see which form he is in on his body. You can just see him when he's channeling it, like now he's switching, and that's just that. So now let's go into the air. Let's check what it is. So he's too big from mounts. He can go into the air. That's his global ability. He can just cast it when he hasn't been in a fight for 4 seconds. So like now, 4 seconds, no. Also, if he is just doing damage, nope, he has to wait. He has to be completely calm for 4 seconds. Then he can channel for 3 seconds, go into the air, and in the air, he heals. He restores his armor plates full, and after 8 seconds waiting, he can come down wherever he has vision. So teamfight is over here somewhere. Oh, we can't see that now. Teamfight is somewhere, he goes down. And he can choose if he comes down Destroyer or in Worldbreaker form. With this, he can be down here. It does some damage, and he has to wait 3 seconds. 4 seconds? No. 3 seconds before he can use these abilities. He can't directly cast when landing. He can just hit stuff for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then he can do this. There's a cooldown, 45 seconds. What else to know? Yeah, he doesn't have mana. He has energy. So like what's called a bird, thief from World of Warcraft, or like Valera, he has 100 energy that refills with 5 per second, I think, and yeah, that is just that. So let's check his basic abilities. We are now in the Destroyer form, that's his more like melee-like form, but he always has the Q. The Q ability he has in both stances, Worldbreaker and Destroyer, and it is like the Lightning Breath from Diablo. It does damage for each millisecond you're standing inside, yes, and it drains your energy low as long as you're casting. You can stop it by Q. The difference to Diablo's heroic Lightning Breath is that you can't rearrange it. Once you are casting, you are locked. You can hit. You see, you can't lock, and you can stop it with a Q. I can have a barbecue with the towers while I'm not in tower range. That's what dragons love. And so this is his Q. He does a lot of sustained damage, but it's very immobile. And then we have the W. That's just a wind-up explosion all around him. Bam. Yes, you have like 0.75 seconds wind up and then 88 damage on the one around him. And E, that's like a small mobility tool. It slows enemy speed he's hitting, and on the last thing he bites one target and does double damage. It's like an in-fight mobility tool. So it's not enough to charge people with that, to chase people with that, because somebody's running from you and you do the E, the time you have the wind up he's already out of the range. So no, it's not a chasing tool. He's still lacking out of fight mobility, but it's just a reposition and slowing tool for in the fight. And that is that. So now we switch the stances. We go into the Worldbreaker form. Back that's here as well in the video. So what's changing is just W and E. So his W is not an explosion around him anymore. It's just a lava pond exploding. What's it called? Lava burst. So bam! It does some initial burst damage when popping, and then some slowing. I think it slows. Yes, 35%, and it does damage over time. So initial pop, then damage over time, and then slow for 6 seconds. The damage is not that high though, but it does double to heroes. You have to keep that in mind. Also, his E is a stun. It's a direct stun. It's like two slowly traveling the Thrath heroic, you know, the thundering, but two small thunderings traveling. Yes, and they stun. They do some damage and they stun. Also wind up time 12 seconds cooldown. It's a stun. So this stance gives you not the in-fight mobility tool and not the all-round explosion, but it gives you a little bit more CC because you have the slow on the W and the stun on the E, and also a little bit more range. Q stays the same. Same here, all his abilities have a wind-up time, all his abilities. And this is a big thing when playing him. Also his Q is bad for finishing. He's bad at finishing people that are running away, because like somebody that's at half range, when you want to start breathing, he's out of range when you start it. So, and then he's gone, and now you're locked and it's sad. Everybody's crying and you can't get him. So Deathwing is all about positioning. He's a big war machine. There's a lot of damage when he's hitting heroes, and he can get off his spells, and he can't be interrupted doing so. But he is slow, and he shows everything what he's doing usually, so people have to outmaneuver him. And playing Deathwing is all about using the mobility you have with the impact, with the landing from the air. So whenever a fight is anywhere on the map, no matter where, you can be there. Deathwing will be there. Yeah, he needs some time, you know, until he can land. But then he will be there. The team is fighting somewhere. Yeah, I'm coming. It's no problem. I'm there. And now I'm starting to wind up my skills, do terrible damage if I hit. But you have to be in the right position to unleash the power. You have to hit with that. You have to anticipate where the enemy is moving. So you need some setup help from your friends. And yeah, you can't be stopped winding up, of course. So the enemy can just run away or whatever. So that makes the in-fight repositioning E rather important, maybe. And another thing that is very important for playing Deathwing is his heroic, I think. his Cataclysm, and that's maybe the reason why he starts with it from the beginning. It has a 4.5 minutes, 270 seconds, yeah, 4.5 minutes. Wind-up time, that means it's not available on the first objectives usually, just if the first objective takes a long time and the end of it, but around level, what is that, level 5 or 6 or whatever, he has the Cataclysm. And this is an important tool because it gives him a long range of engage, or also of covering the battlefield. You use this and you fly, and then you do some impact damage, and you leave a scorched ground with dust damage over time. And this tool is important because it gives you a big way to reposition and do some damage and cover the area of battle or the area of an objective. And I think that's the reason why they give him that that early is very important to have this possibility. Strong talent. You have to be careful. He's always flying full distance. So if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm like, okay, it has 90 seconds cooldown. If I'm like flying behind, I'm flying behind, you know, like this. Oh no, where am I? Is he done? I have to go away. So usually you have the cooldown of 90 seconds as well. So other nice thing, grilling the complete, having a barbecue with the complete front wall. Things you can buy. So I go back into the sky to get my plates. And you see he's regenerating. It takes some time actually. But whatever. So that's what we do. We have all the plates back, all the armor plates. And let's check the talents now. I think we know what we want to know so far. Like I said, he's a big war machine. It's all about the good positioning and anticipating enemy movement. While the enemies want to outmaneuver you. He can come to any fight he wants because of his global. And he can be there. You have to be aware of him coming. And then you have to do somehow with him. And he's big. That's that feeling, and I think they hit that feeling quite well. And so let's go with the level 1 talent. The first level 1 talent is all about sustain, how you can regenerate yourself a little bit. So it's either with the damage you do to heroes with your W, so both, either the lava pond or the explosion all around you. Then the other choice is you get as long as you have 3 or more armor plates, so as long as you never have less than 50% life, I think, or 25, you have the health regen, stay up, stay safe, regenerate all the time. And the third one is auto attacks against enemy heroes gives you 40% life leech, and whenever you lose an armor plate, you become protected. So choose your way of sustaining yourself a little better. Let's check the protected, by the way. Did I lose an armor plate? No, I already lost that one. Now I will lose some bam. You see? I am protected. This is just mean. So we have that. We have to set the level.
Choose a talent. Choose a
So
talent.
we have the stand level 1. Then we have to choose where we want to get some more damage out of it on level 4. And that's gonna be either Q. You do more damage when you choose it to cast on higher energy, on 75% energy. Then you have the W, that gives more damage on both of your Ws. The explosion around of you gives immolation effect, and the lava burst increase the initial explosion damage. And you have the as long as you have when you have fewer than 3 armor plates. So if you are once below 50 life, then you will increase your armor, your damage by 30%. So if you have been once below 50% life, you have 30% damage increase. There's this choice, then more damage on your both of your W abilities, and this is more damage on your Q when you cast it with high energy. So there's a lot of ifs on this one. You have it's just the Q and high energy. Yes, this is not with an if. So the W, you get it all the way. But this is big. But usually when they come from the sky, you have all the armor plates, so you don't have 30% damage bonus. When you come from the sky, what you usually do is just for longer fights, or if you fight in a lane or whatever. Now this is if you hit a good Q with that, with the good setup, it's terrible damage. And that's the all-around choice most likely. But I don't know. Let's go with whatever. Go with this. And then level 7 we have the flight tier talent tier. So it's all about what do you want from your flight to be better. You have the Firestorm, which helps you which unleashes meteors when you're landing. Let's check that together. I go in the air. So, and I have to wait, usually 8 seconds. I have the 2 cooldowns toggled. And so that's just when I'm landing, I'm unleashing some meteors. They hit heroes usually. Just if there are no heroes, they are random. And for each hit, your cooldown from the flight goes down. So you have the flight up more often, using more of the global, jumping from lane to lane. This is your choice. Some more impact damage and more uptime of that one. So we got talents.
Choose a talent.
Then
Choose a talent.
and then we have Death Drop, which is hitting an enemy hero when you're landing. It reduces the spell armor 15% for 6 seconds on a hero you're hitting, and all the ability cooldowns, which is also important because, like I said, when you're landing from the air, cooldowns, you usually have 4 seconds of where you cannot cast an ability and just auto attack. But with that talent, you decrease the spell armor feature. You can cast earlier. Did I choose that now? Yes. It doesn't matter which you. So, you can cast abilities earlier. This is the thing. So you can cast quicker. This is like the teamfight wombo combo choice. When you come down, you can cast earlier and you debuff the enemy. And then there's the third choice.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Skyfall. So when you have this and you go into the air, you have a new skill. It's called Skyfall, and you can drop meteors everywhere on the map where you have vision. So maybe one on top lane, one on bottom lane. And when you hit a hero with it, the cooldown of your landing is reduced. So this helps you come down quicker. Usually you have to wait 8 seconds until you can come down, but if you hit a hero, you can immediately come down. So that is your choice if you really need to come down quicker and do some damage somewhere with whatever, with an Abattoir hitting with the meteors. Bam, bam, bam. So there's the choices you have here, and then we go to level 10. We go to level 10. Oh my god, so we have the Firestorm again. Let's recapitulate that. We have the Firestorm for doing more impact damage with the meteors and reducing the time to go up in the air again. Then we have the Death Drop for debuffing the enemy and being able to cast it quicker. And we have the Skyfall for do some damage anywhere on the map and come down quicker from the air. Interesting choices actually. I like this talent here a lot. Excuse me. So we go to level 10 now. And on level 10, we have one possibility to buff his basic heroic, the Cataclysm, with Burn Beneath My Shadow, which increases the Scorched Ground damage by 150%. So 2.5 damage than before. And also whenever you destroy a keep or fort, so on one of the big buildings, the heroic is resetted. Which is strong. So that is like, you can push even more forward. Like imagine you tear down one keep, one fort, and then the enemies want to retreat, and then you get them with a Cataclysm, and I imagine this being very strong. It's a cool thing. So you have your mobility Cataclysm damage engage tool of there more often. Oh god, water. Bellowing Roar is another choice. That's actually another strong choice. It's like a Horrify. After 1 second, Deathwing unleashes a mighty roar, dealing 57 damage to nearby heroes and causing them to run in fear for 2 seconds.
Choose a talent.
So it's, imagine Gul'dan's heroic, but it's not aimed somewhere, targeted. It's just around you. So if I cast it, it's like wind up, roar, and the people rolling in all directions. So with the good landing and good repositioning, this might be a very strong thing. 1 second. It's usually not enough to run away from Deathwing to not get hit if he's right beneath you. Strong stuff. Both are good choices, I think. This is more for setup and kills and team fight, and this is like push forward even more, get advantage from it, and do more damage with the Cataclysm. Both is fine, both is fine. So, level 13 we go. This is about, it's like an economy tier, I would say it. So, it's here, Wolski, and it's like less energy cost for your Q, usually at 30 per second, then it's 20 per second, and whenever you stop using it, you gain 50 energy back. So usually you easily run empty one energy from breathing, you know. And now you can last 50% longer with Q, and you get energy instantly back while doing it, so you can do something else. Or breath again, whatever. Then we have this is buffing your onslaught. That's a jump. This one. It does more slow, and 60% instead of 35%, and also the Earth Shatterer cooldown. So instead of 12 seconds, you have the 6 seconds now on the stun, and it costs less energy. So this is buffing your CC actually. That's buffing your CC, less cost more often, more slow. And then the last one, Fire and Fury, is buffing your basic against slowed, rooted, whatever enemies. So more damage. A few heroes have a talent like that. If the enemy is slowed, rooted, or stunned, you do 30% more damage against those basic attacks. And also it helps resetting your abilities even quicker. So Q usually is up all the time, 3 seconds cooldown, that's no problem. The other talents, more CC and so might be a thing for that. I don't know. So if you go in a heavy CC and VW build, then this might be okay, but this, I don't know. This is buffing your CC. More damage on Q, or more uptime of Q, more CC and less cost for that. And it is more uptime of all talents and a little bit more damage. So yeah, okay, we can call it an economy a little bit. Depends what you want. Let's check level 16.
Choose a talent.
We have conflagration as a damage tier. No, this tier isn't not themed. So we have damage on Q. This is like if you do a certain amount of damage to a hero with a Q, he starts burning and gets some more damage over time, and also does exploding damage to the people around him. So that's like very silly. If you hit the whole group, they are burning and they are moving, giving flames to all the people around them. That's not so literally flames around them. And this is a strong thing, a lot of damage. So if you are able in a team comp against a team to hit the Q safely, this is even more damage. The other way, we have the gaze onto destruction thing, which is a hard engage tool when you're landing. So whenever you land, you have a damage reduce on the enemies by 75% and slowing them for 5 seconds. 75% less damage and slow for 40% for 5 seconds on the people you land on. It's just wow for getting into a fight when you approach. And your team is fighting and you come there and bam, nobody does anything anymore. Slow and you do whatever you want. Big thing. And the last one, that's Elementum Plating. This is a sustain, the survival tool. It gives you 35% of your missing health as a shield for 8 seconds, and also gives you regeneration for 2% per second as long as the shield is there. So yes, and you also can regenerate armor plates by that. Let's check that. Come on. So I'm losing 1 armor plate now. That's gone. And now I'm deactivating the shield. It's regenerating, yes, and it should be bringing it back. Come on, yes, there it is. So you can get your armor plates back and regenerate in an emergency situation with this talent. So that's a really different tier. Like big damage Q time for the Q build. This is a Bomber Combo Engage debuff tool. And this is a survival tool. Choose what you want. Could choose carefully. And then now we're going to tier 20. So the Storm Talent tier. We have a second upgrade for Cataclysm. So it's now slowing and the duration of the ground is increased by 50%. So we can on 10 we can skill that it's resetting on big buildings and does more damage on the scorched ground, and on 20 we can keep the duration of increase the duration and make it a big slow, which might be very strong, I think, because you have a long area, and if you have a good engage, people can't run from it really, and you have them all in the slow. And imagine you're just sieging a keep or fort or whatever, and then you are able. It should be a keep that later in the game. Then the keep falls, and then you have it up again. And everybody will just die, and that's just a nice fantasy. And but talking of nice fantasies, there's also a rival of a god, which gives you 400% more damage on landing impact, either form, and all tier level 7 talents. So you get all of them. So you get the more impact on landing and less cooldown of the going to the air. You get the armor debuff and cooldown on your own abilities. And you get the throw bomb meteors anywhere on the map and going down quicker. Plus the 400% more damage on impact, which sounds also very nice. I think Arrival of a God might be nice. And there's the third choice, Destroyer's Rampage, which I'm not really sure of if it's that good. So it's like for the next 6 seconds after landing in Destroyer form. So just Destroyer form, not Worldbreaker form, just the melee form. Damaging heroes refreshes this effect. So your damage is increased by 30%. This is the thing, so I didn't thought that before. So you do 40% more damage when coming down with the Destroyer, and your basic ability cooldowns recharge 50% faster. So this is especially important for, it's just in the Destroyer form. So you have just 2 seconds cooldown on the explosion, and you have 2.5 cooldown on the jump. And you do, so you do 40% more damage, and whenever you do damage to heroes, this is refreshed. So it's like, it's a rampage. You can just jump around and the enemy more all the time and do more damage. Interesting choice. There might be a niche for that. I don't know right now. I think the other talents sound more silly, more impactful. But this, with the right build, maybe if you have a build that enforces on your W and E's, this might be sick. W can be a sustain tool with the level 1 talent. Yeah, it can be interesting indeed. So I go back to level 1.
Choose a talent.
And as we want hero, where you are, Arthurs. So his wave clear, it's okay with the Q as long as he has energy. Can do this. The wave clear is not as problem. I think camp clear is a big problem. It might be a little bit better with the Worldbreaker form with the Lava Pond, but still not that cool. So I have, okay, he has skilled block, that mean guy. So you can see I'm hitting on the Arthur. He's not running away. Oh, he's not running away. I grill his wave. And all my energy is gone. So I'm big. I choose the regeneration talent here. You see the globes here? There's another change, but I will come to that, back to that later. So whatever. That is that for now. I think you can try him yourself soon on the live server, and if you want to, already now on the PTR. This is Deathwing. Is this him dancing? No, this is him taunting. and let him dance now. Oh yeah, that's his dance. He's using his... Oh yeah, he's dancing like the Brazilian dog dance, you know? If you know that video with the ass up and then twerking it. You should definitely check out the Carbot video as well, where he's like a big dog. I think it suits the fantasy somehow. And
stand in my way.
yeah, this is that. Let's check the teleport to base animation. Last thing, yeah, he's lifting one leg like a dog and then he's up to the air. And here we are. So, like I said, playing Deathwing is all about getting this big war machine in the right position. You have the map mobility tools to be in every fight you want, in most fights you want, but within the fight you are a little bit clumsy and you have to like need the help of your friends, to teammates, to arrange the damage in the way it should be, because you're just fat. He's big. He's of course has a problem with percentage damage, so you should not first pick him, and that will be terrible. You will get countered. Yeah, he's immune to any CC. Can't be healed. He does his thing. He's a weapon, but he's a big weapon. And what does he have? He has no special skin, just normal color tints. He brings the black one, the green, the white reddish, the gray dragon, gray blue with the golden plates, and I mean Spyro not now. It's a green purplish dragon. Nice. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. It's been a while since I did my last video, so I would be happy for any feedback you might want to give me. I'm improving whenever I can. Thank you very much for watching again, and see you soon. I'm Girls, and bye bye.
What are you waiting for? I have a